We're celebrating many things, not the least of which, despite the prognostications of some of our mentors, we're still here. Yeah, I started in climbing 1953, and I remember early on at Stony Point in some of our sections, the fellow that happened to be the chairman of the safety committee drew me aside, and he said, I found out that he'd done this to other people too, but he drew me aside and he said, Mike, says, don't climb with Royal Robbins. He says, Royal is unsafe, and if you climb with him, you'll surely be killed. Well, I don't regret for a minute ignoring that advice. So anyway, Jerry's brought you up to speed on what some of the preparations for climbs, and I wrote the article in the Sierra Club Bulletin, which many of you have read, I'm sure, and a lot of the description is in there. Some of the things that weren't mentioned then is in preparation for the climb. Most important, that we knew that Solifay had led the way in developing hardware that would last on a long climb. A lot of the hardware was, at the time, was bought in Europe, was good for 2 or 3 times, and then it was all bent up and you couldn't use it anymore. And Solifay realized that you needed pins for multi-day climbs that you could use over and over again. And he forged these pins from 4060 vanadium steel, which were forward rear axles. And the design of these pins were so clever and so beautiful that Chenard copied them, but mainly on our climb, Jerry Gallwas forged more than half the pins that we used on this climb, and we were able to use them over and over and over, and they're still as good as new. That was one thing. The other thing, Jerry built a hauling bag. We called it a torpedo bag, which was a duffel bag that was reinforced with some rope and tape, and we covered it with another duffel bag to keep it from getting all chewed up on the climb. Other things that we did and prepared for at this time were we did not take the lesson of Steck and Solifay and Nelson on the Lost Arrow Chimney and on the west face of Sentinel Rock. As Jerry said, we took too much rope and not enough water. Nelson wrote in his article that a quart per man per day was sufficient, and it wasn't. We paid for it. So that was one of the things that we did. We took the best advice that we had available, and what we couldn't figure it out, we figured out on our own and made what we needed. We had very little money, so we did the best we could. We left the ground with 13 and a half quarts of water, and Jerry recently measured it out, and that's exactly what we had. The other things that we did for preparation were we signed out with a ranger. I believe I listed what we took along in the article, so all of that is there. In those days, on the climbing itself, in those days the ethics were that the last man climbed the pins and took the pins out. We didn't have Jumars in those days, so there was no jugging. The best we could do was a prusik knot, so there was not a lot of jugging up ropes then. All the climbing was done on the pins that were put in. Okay, well, what you're going to see now are slides. Probably for the first time ever, you'll see the slides that were taken on the first ascent. So let's start off with those. That's on the first pitch, and it's Jerry Gallwas and kind of low on the first pitch on first day. We'll kind of speed through these. That is low on the climb. Don't know where there is a climber. Right up here. Okay, next. Okay, that was taken from the top of the third pitch. The only picture I have of myself, that's my knee. So, looking down at Royal, and that's just approaching the top of the third pitch. Next. Okay, a little bit higher, picture of Royal. Picture of Jerry, I think just a little bit higher in the climb. These were all taken on the first day. Next. Picture of Jerry. This is the only picture that was published. I believe this picture was in Chris Jones's book. And it's Royal, and I'm pretty sure it was taken on the first day. Next. Okay, this is on the second day as we were getting up to the ledges below the Robbins Traverse. And this is where we had our second day bivouac. We rode back down to these ledges and bivouacked there rather comfortably on the second day. And the third day was up above in the chimneys, and that was fairly comfortable too. Next slide. That's looking over onto the North Pillar. So a lot of you people have been up there and have had that same view. So next, please. Okay, that is leading up to the Robbins Traverse. The first few pitches. The first pitch up. I believe it's hard to see, but I think that's Jerry here. So this was climbing in the afternoon of the second day. Next. Okay, this is on the third day, and that's Royal belaying in the bottom of one of the chimneys. I believe that's chimney down below Sight Flake. Next. Okay, and this was the last picture that I took on the climb. I brought a folding camera, and the shutter jammed. There wasn't anything I could do to free it and fix it. Because I was so mad, I just rolled the film out of it, put it in a film can, and tossed the camera off from about halfway up. So we have no more pictures that were taken on the first day of or on the first ascent. This was the last one, and it's looking up the lower end of the chimneys. And instead of chimneying like they do today, we chose to take a real easy nailing crack just out to the left, and that's Royal nailing the crack. Now, Royal has some pictures higher up. Oh, that's the same picture sideways. Oh, there's a picture of Jerry. This was, I believe, on the second day, below the Robbins Traverse. Or below the Robbins Traverse. Is there another one? Okay. Oh, this got colored in somehow. This is Jerry leading up on the first pitch up to the Robbins Traverse. More? Okay. Oh yeah. Warren met us on top and very graciously congratulated us for making the climb, and also had the most precious thing, and that was water. We were suffering pretty badly by that time, and we're very grateful for that water we got up there. And I believe also a ham sandwich. I had a ham sandwich for us. I'm going to turn it over to